กายที่เธอมองเห็นว่างามสุดท้ายความเสื่อมทรามจะมาพรากไปร่วงโรยลงในสายทานยามการเวลาหมุนไปชีวิตต้องแตกสลายไม่มีเที่ยงแท้ผมเส้นงามถึงคราวร่วงไปแขนขาที่เคยว่องไวกลับไร้เรี่ยวแรงโรคภัยเฝ้าคอยคุกคามติดตามไปในทุกแห่งเกิดแก่เจ็บตายสำแดงเป็นธรรมดาหากเธอมองทุกการเกิดมาที่มีอย่างลึกซึ้ง
Deepavali. Where have you been for Deepavali? Oh, not going anywhere. Busy with studying, right? We just talk about, your suffering. Everybody only know they are suffering. You know what you're suffering? Life. I think just for now, your suffering is how to make your topics be fast. The first one we call the suffering of dukkha satya. The first dukkha satya of you means how to make your PhD smoothly going on and try to find out what is the causes of the suffering. Mean how to make your PhD research is effective and attractive to the supervisors or examiner. Then you get the right solution. When you get the right solution, mean you have to find out what is the right way. That is called the Eightfold Noble Path or the Makka, Eightfold Noble Path. That means the right way to go to the to resolve or to the solutions of your suffering. But the suffering of life also the truth. But for right now, the most suffering of life is how to finish the PhD according to the system, according to the time limits, according to the knowledge. How can you facing this with the all right effort? Everyone still remember the right effort, the 5 Sammapadhana, Venerable Silananda, the 5 efforts, right effort, but divided into 5 because Sammapadhana, 5 Sammapadhana. Number 1 is right. Number 1 is Samvarapadhana, mean careful or not be heedlessness to any things contact to your eye, your ear, your nose, your tongue, your mouth, your tongue, your physical body and your mental. Don't let any unwholesome or akusala dhamma come to take over your mind. What is akusala dhamma? Anyone remember 10 of akusala dhamma? First, killing any being. The second, stealing any properties of the other. Third, misconduct. Fourth, telling lying, or false speech. Number 5, intoxicating, avoid intoxicating. And this for we take only 3. 1, killing. The second, stealing. The third, misconduct. And the 4th, intoxicating. And for the speech, there are 4 for the speech. 4 for the speech. Pisuna vacha, don't make cunning word. mean to make someone fighting with someone telling lie พูดปด telling lie ส่อเสียดปิสุนวาจา mean like make someone fighting to someone or make different words into different words and let the people fighting. And number 3, musawata, pisunavaja, parusavaja. Parusavaja means the harsh word, scorn. Yeah. And number 4, the nonsense. The word is no useless, unuseful. Mean talkative without the truth. Most of the, about example, I don't know why this topic is coming from India. In Tipitaka itself, have mentioned that the talking with the nonsense is about, for example, the 2 examples in the Tipitaka, as telling the story of Ram and Lux like this. Ram and Sita. But even Ram and Sita available in Tipitaka. But I don't know when it take place for the Indian have composed the Ramayana in India. But this story also have taken place in Tipitaka also. But the story almost the same. Then if you can find out in the future, if you study more religious linguistics, you can find out when this story is taking place. But if we talk about the Tipitaka, that means 300 after Lord Buddha passed away, they already collect for the Tipitaka. But it was the first 3 months. After 3 months, then the collection of the council is taken place. But I'm not quite sure that for the story is coming into the Tipitaka yet. But after 3rd council, all the part of the Tipitaka are taken place. Maybe if the story would take place on the 3 months after pass away of Lord Buddha, it will be taking place after the 3 months or after 235 years after pass away of Lord Buddha. If this story taken place, if one taken place 235 years after pass away, it will take place. It would be taken place. It would be take place in 3 months after pass away of Lord Buddha. But the story of the Ramayana, I'm not sure when it's taken place. It's somehow like written by the hermit named Palamiki, right? This may be taken place between about 500 years after pass away of Lord Buddha up to missing Buddhism about 1700. When the British coming, then the story have devices again. And Buddhism disappeared from India almost 700 years. 700, including Turk, including Islamism. The invasion of the Islam, invasions of the Turks, invasions of the Alexanders, and invasions of the British. 3 invasions into India. During this day, the Ramayana taken place, but when, if anyone can do research about this, I think it will be helpful. But what I almost believe, like the story is very much like in Tipitaka, but in Tipitaka, they didn't put too much the culture. They didn't put too much the cultures of Ram or Sita or Lux. But in Tipitaka, they put only like due to the father have new wife because of the first 3 children, mother died, and then the king got new wife, when the wife got pregnant and then got a baby, a very beautiful, handsome boy, then the father said that, okay, if you need any blessing, tell me. But the mother in her mind that, okay, I will not ask for today for the gift from the king. But when the boy is grown up, then the second wife, the mother of the new prince, said that, sir, now time for me to beg for the blessing. Mean you offer the kingdom for my son. That's all. But then the king appeals to her that go to hell or something like that. You are go to hell. What will you do? I have 3 children. You want me to kill all my children? Then I can give your son to be a king, something like that. But then she not angry. Then she keep quiet. And after that, then she call up, come to visit the king again and again. Then, sir, you already say a word. Don't swallow your word, something like that. Then the king worry about the women are always dangerous. Then he said to all his children, you know, Ram, Sita, and Lux, 3 of them go another city and rebuild. But the story not telling to build a new city, but somehow like go to the jungle. I think the same like in Mahabharata, right? Or Ramayana, right? Go to live in the jungle, and then Sita, due to those days, the family, they married together. Sita become Ram's wife, and Lak is a brother. And I think the story almost the same, but not written like the hermit name Valmiki. The Valmiki say very exciting, and the story, you know, even another one we call Mahabharata, right? Mahabharata. This story is very much also taken place in Tipitaka. We call the Kuru state. But the Mahabharata have said that Kuru Kaset, right? Kuru Kaset means like the field of Kuru. But the Kuru state is the place where the Buddha have given the Stipatthana Sutta or the 4 Stipatthana Sutta. Stipatthana Sutta have 2 sutta. One we call Mahasatipatthana Sutta. The second we call Satipatthana Sutta. Both are come different part of the sutta. Mahasatipatthana Sutta come in the Tika Nikaya, but Satipatthana Sutta come in Majjhima Nikaya. In Tipitaka they are divided into 5 Ti, Ma, Sang, Ang, Ku. There are 5 parts of the Suttanta. This is the technique for the old people, the ancient people, they remember to memorize how to remember which sutta come with sutta. These sutta also have taken the same place, but only coming in different place. Then they mention in different name, but different name only. One is Maha, one is Sati Patthana only. And I forgot to tell Deepak, our topic today. I'm feel very happy to get to. Before I make the conclusion that this should be the last class for me, because the last class I thought that the last class, but after I was worrying for 2 days, after Tuesday I have the class. I got the class for the BA, the 2nd year and 3rd years. Then I got informed that I have 1 more class. Then I tried to find out what should I teach you, because almost I running over everything. But then I came to know that one thing I didn't tell you, that any topics about Buddhism, you can come to the systems of these, all the phonetics and everything. This one I promised last week that I will give to you on the line group, but I couldn't upload because I have only Facebook of the Venerable Akasena, and then I could not upload this work. Then today I thought that after finish the class I will share your line, and I will upload into your line. Then you can bring and upload in your own notebooks or PC and studying by yourself, because this is more effective and more detailed than the smallest book or booklet. It's all detailed in here. Even they have given what are the systems of the making the research of the archaeological survey, and I think it will be benefit to all of you for your restudying again about this topic in the future, or even you can take like a prototype of the study with the other subject in the same field in linguistics also. Have more detail in here and more than 100 pages, but I have assist one, I have given one topics. Probably the part will be a little bit difficult because Samma Titti Sutta, but I have given in Thai, but also available in English, but I have given in Thai in the case like Thai student can read in Thai first, and after that you can read in English. Why I have given the Samma Titti Sutta? I was wondering if I have opportunity to study about this when I was just entering into the Buddhist field of the studying. I think I should learn better than this. You know, because of the Samma Titti Sutta is really not lecture, not the sermons of Lord Buddha, but due to the one who have given this sutta named Sariputta. The Venerable Sariputta, during the monks coming different part of the country, and one he made to them, he asked them that, are you coming to visit the Buddha? From where? Something like that. Then he asked, do you know what is Sammaditthi? Then all the monks said, sir, we were coming from so far. If we can listen from you, that's our great, and we will memorize for that, and we will help the other. Then he have given this sutta. After he have given this sutta, then they made to the Buddha, and then they report to the Buddha that the Venerable Sariputta have asking us, and we asked him about this Sammatiti Sutta. Then they retold to the Buddha. Then the Buddha say, that okay, if you ask me about what is the Sammatiti Sutta, or what is the right view Sutta, I will give the same to Sariputta. Because of that, the council, the first council, brought this into the council, mean the group of the teachings of Lord Buddha. There are two topics or three topics, something like this, by the Venerable Sariputta. And another sutta, we call this Sammatiti Sutta, and another sutta, I'm not quite sure, that have given before the Lord Buddha's passed away not too long, during they were in Kuchinaga. I will not go into concern that today, and I will go on with this, and then I will take only some topics, significant topics. Probably you already learned some, but if you can give more detail today, it will be more benefit. For a few minutes ago, I thought that maybe the Park not come today. Then I got the copy of the code and put on the line of Venerable Akasena. In the case like you were somewhere, you may connect it on the line, on the face. But now you are coming. Okay, now we're going on. We have up to 11 o'clock, right? In the morning. Okay. Now I will take another topic we call Sammatta. 10 Sammatta. Have you ever heard about 10 Sammatta? The Venerable Sirananda, have you ever heard about Sammatta or 10 Sammatta? Yeah. Not remember, right? And how about bunch of doctor to be never heard about the samatha, right? And how about San Chawang, San Samatha, sorry, I will Samatha, I will write down, okay? Not Samatha, we call Samatha. Samatha. We call 10 Samatha. Pali. 10 Samatha. And 10 Mitchatta. Mitchatta. Mitcha Titti. Yeah. 10 for the Samma, 10 for the Mitcha. Have you ever heard about this? No, right? Very good, very good. That's very almost right suspect. But we call the opposite is Mitcha and the same Sammata. This group we call 10 Sammata and 10 Mitchata. The sample and very easy to remember is the eightfold path. You already remember for the eighth one, right? All eightfold path, but then only add 2 more. Then it becomes 10 Sammata. And if the opposite of the Sammata is a Mitcha, then we call 10 Mitchata. This available in this book, and this group of this book of the most venerable of Payutto, they have given both language, 3 languages, in Thai alphabet, in Pali with the Roman alphabet, and with the English, normal English. There are 3 languages in this. Every name is in here, but I will check for the Sammata. 10 Sammata. Now, what is the number 1 of the Eightfold Path? Samma Titti. Very good. Samma Titti is the first one. And for the Sammata, what is the Sammata? Number 1 is start from the opposite, Mitcha Titti. We call Mitchata. Due to Eightfold Path, we call Samma Titti. But when it becomes Sammata, it becomes Titti Sammata or Sammata Titti, like this. It's not the same like a Samma Titti. So it becomes Sammata Titti. But here, this book is not available. I don't know why. It's supposed to have here. It's Samma, or maybe I didn't get up to that yet. Sammata available. We call, or we can say that, but they call Sammata 10 or 10 Sammata 333 number 333 number 333 mean on this book on the 333 333 I will show you on the page number. Then if you got the books, then it will be easy for you to find out. 333. This samatha. It starts from the same number, like it starts from sammaทิฏฐิ up to samma samadhi, but only called different little bit. Only sammattaทิฏฐิfor the number one. Number two, samma sankappa. But they didn't make the same like I say. Sorry, I got from somewhere. But here also the same, like I have mentioned the same. Samma Titti, number one. Samma Sankappa, number two. Samma Vaja, number three. Samma Kammanta, number four. Samma Ashiva, number five. Samma Vayama, number six. Samma Sati, number seven. Samma Samadhi, number eight. Number nine is because Sammayana. But only the name they call different. Samatha, 10 samatha, and 10 mitchata. Number 9, Sammayana. Number 10, Samma Vimut. You know Vimut? Yeah, the same like moksha we are discussing on that day. The Pap still remember, right? Number or moksha in Sanskrit and moksha in Pali. This is the meaning in Vimutti. So many names to call in Buddhism. And even though I think the same in Hinduism, but only the meaning are a little bit different. We will go on detail about this. And if we are studying about this, and so many topics, another topics also significant, you can find out from this book. If you got the books, and it's more easy for you. But it's one good thing is good here. All the topics of the available in Tipitaka. And he also brought from the Tipitaka. Then he had mentioned that this topic is available in which Tipitaka? Mean in Vinaya Pitaka or in Suttanta Pitaka and Abhidhamma Pitaka. We have mentioned here on the footnote on the below of this, like from which part of the Tipitaka. Then you can find out again for more detail in the Tipitaka. And now I have seen some even on the Tipitaka for the English version. They have also in Tipitaka on the YouTube. We call 84,000, but in front they have written like in Thai, Tripidok, 84,000. But in English, I'm not quite sure that available. Have you ever checked for this, Deepak? No. Venerable Silananda, have you checked on the notebook or on the mobile that the Tipitaka in English are available in English version? Have you checked before? But what I checked in Thai, Tipitaka, and they have translated into the Roman alphabet also in the same version. But they have channel in like this is for the Thai alphabet, and this is for the Roman alphabet, and this is for the English translation. They have like that. But for the foreigners or for the different country, I'm not quite sure. I never take part of the foreigners to check from the internet. Probably may be available, some of the Sutta, some of the Vinaya, or some of the Abhidhamma. But most the perfect one have been translated into English that we call Pali Text Society. But what I have been through Pali Text Society, the Pali Text Society have translated is not quite like in Thai Pali studying. Mean the one who have translated into English, they have very short and brief. It's not exactly word by word like the Pali in Thai, or I'm not quite sure the Pali in Myanmar or Pali in Sri Lanka. But I have checking the Pali in Roman alphabet, what they have translated in very short form. The same like they not translate in word by word, but they translate only the meaning. In Myanmar also like that? Oh, maybe the same, I think. That's why I could not say that the one have translate into English, for example, like in Pali Text Society, may not guarantee that exactly what available in the Pali that have written in the original in Myanmar, in Thailand and Sri Lanka. Because so many are missing. So many are missing. That's why I think in the future, if anyone can do translate, oh yeah, I have heard that the Thai government have been issue one project from the Thai governments on the auspicious day of the coronations of the King Rama X, that have found the staff for translation Tipitaka in Pali versions into English. If it can finish within few years, I think it will be benefit to every public's audience who may want to study exactly what is the versions in English have translated by the Thai government to on the auspicious days of the coronations ceremonies of the King Rama X into the world. But I'm not quite sure that this translation will be available for free for the public or not. But if it is available for free distribution to every part of the world, I think it will be very helpful. One, to compare with the Pali Text Society, what are same and what's different. Then the people around the world may get easy to study about Pali Tipitaka in the versions that have written and translated by the Thai government. This one will be benefit even to Myanmar, even to Sri Lanka, or even to new Buddhist country, some of the country that wanted to welcome Buddhism into their country, and then studying about that. That is in the future, but I don't know how long. But if you want to study about, but now it's already someone upload on the versions in Thai. When you are typing on พระไตรปิฎก 84,000 then it will have the versions in English. They have the versions in the Roman alphabet, and they have the version in Thai also there. But may not every sutta. Maybe some sutta are available, but some sutta are not available. It depends on in the future how is this government will bring into the public or not. But one we are learning about samatha and michata. Easy to remember. These very big topics, and this should be the part of we call Bodhipakkhya Dhamma. You know Bodhipakkhya Dhamma? Anyone remember? Bodhipakkhya Dhamma. That we call Pochanka. Pochanka is 7, but all together we call 38 38 Bodhipakkiya Dhamma. 38, 4 are Satipatthana Sutta. Another 4 are Sammappathana. We have said that Samvarapathan, the second Pahanapathan, the third Pavanapathan, the fourth Anurakkanapathan. This for the Sammappadhana. And another Itipat, 4 Itipatha. Itipatha, Patha means the foot means the footprints or way or walking or the part of the way, like a footpath like this. And Iti means the successness or successfulness. That means the way to the successfulness. Therefore, one is Chanta, means if anyone want to get succeed, the first one must be like a Chanta, we call your mind is satisfied to do that. If you are not satisfied, if you are not appreciated to do that, if you have no appetite, you know appetite? Appetite. Suppose the food is in front of you, but you have no appetite to eat, that you call no appetite. The same like the way to succeed, but the people seem like, oh, I don't like it, so much difficult. Like this also kinds of the no appetite. Chanta, Virya means the effort. Chanta is the same like right effort. Right effort is a 4 divided into 4. Samvarapadhana, Pahanapadhana, Pavanapadhana, and Anurakanapadhana. This for the right effort. Chanda, Virya, Chitta. Chitta means you have to be mindful to every activities. What are you going to do? You must mindful that. If you are studying, then you mindful day and night with your subject to study. The same mindful, the same to the Satipatthana Sutta for mindfulness. Anyone remember? For Satipatthana Sutta, the topics are 4. The Venerable Sivananda, do you remember? Kaya-nupassana Satipatthana, Vedana-nupassana Satipatthana, about the feeling. Kaya means the physical, Vedana means the feeling. Chitta-nupassana Satipatthana, about the mindful or the mind, the consciousness. And Dhamma-nupassana Satipatthana. What are the Dhamma-nupassana Satipatthana? If we compare to the 5 aggregate, Rupakanda, Vedana Kanda, Sanya Kanda, Sankara Kanda, Vijnana Kanda. The Dhamma is the Sankara Kanda, the Sanya Kanda, Sankara Kanda, and the Vijnana Kanda is belong to the part of the Chitta also. This also we call the Dhamma. The Dhamma, not only the good thing we call the Dhamma. That's why in Pali we have Kusala Dhamma, Akusala also the Dhamma. Abhyagata Dhamma also the Dhamma. Mean the parts of Kusala Dhamma, the parts of the good we call wholesome. Kusala Kammapada. The part of the Akusala Dhamma mean the part of the unwholesome. Mean the activities that belong to the bad thing. And even nothing be good and nothing be bad is still called the Dhamma. We call Apayakata Dhamma. What are not be good and not be bad? The part of the neutral. But due to the scientific study about the neutral linguistics, mostly concerned to about the reflections of the scientific study. But according to the teachings of Buddha, Apayakata Dhamma means the part of the neutral Dhamma, the neutral form can be good and can be bad, or cannot say good and cannot say the bad. But the thing is just nature, the neutral thing. For example, Rupa Kanda. We cannot say that my Rupa Kanda is better than Deepak Rupa Kanda. Or Deepak Rupa Kanda cannot say that not better than sun shower. But why we cannot say that? Because all are the same. What are the same? What are the same? Just four elements composing, right? The four elements composing from the earth, the water, the wind, the air, just composing. But if without Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, without four of these, can the Rupa Kanta go on? No, we're not called the human being anymore. They call coffin or the cough, mean the dead body. That for the human being. But if in the building like this, we call the cement, or we call the brick, or we call the trees, like that. Without the other parts of the composings of the mindfulness, mean the Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. 10 Samatha. Already remember for the 8 Fold Path, I will not go through again. But Samatha for the number 9, Samma Yana. What is Yana? Anyone remember that? Knowledge or the knowing. Knowledge or the knower. The knower means the one who is going to know. What is the part of the one who is going to know? We call Chitta. But the Chitta here are 4: Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. These 4 are composed together. If only one feeling is not complete, if only one Sanya is not complete, because if we talk about the Sanya, the computer or the notebook is more brighter than us, because it's more good or better memorized than us. But due to the Sanya and Sankhara and Vijnana 4 together, then become the part of the being. The being doesn't mean to the human beings only. Even the beast, you know the beast? Mean animal. Any kinds of the animal, they call one common word, we call beast. Mean all kinds of animal. And if we call about the being, mean to every being. What are the other beings? Human beings also the being. The animal also the kinds of the being. In the kinds of the God realms also, the kinds of the being up to the Brahmin over there, Mahabrahmana. That's also the Brahmins, that's also the being. But only one thing I'm not quite sure how to say. For the noble, for example, the Buddha. Even the Buddha himself, in the parts of the Parinibbana Sutta, it had mentioned that he have contemplation into every billions kinds of the contemplation. You know the contemplation? Chan. Yeah, contemplation is Chan. Even the Buddha himself going to like billions of the contemplation, and then he come to the we call Rupa Chan and Arupa Chan. And then he come to the Patama Chan up to Chatutta Chan or Panchama Chan. And then after that, from the Panchama Chan back to the first Patama Chan. And then he come to the middle of this, and then end of his mind called Chuti. Chuti Chit means the mind that going.
These are also people passing away on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's when the people know in this way. This is scientific proof as we call being war. We have some the system of scientific way to prove existing persons.
Yeah. That's really wonderful. I think even normal people cannot think about this. But so many people are still confused. Then what are the Nibbana? It's very, very, very wondering for the. If it's not studying carefully, that's why in Thai society, many community have definition Nibbana in different way. Even some of the group have mentioned that Nibbana are like a platform of big space or like another planet that we call Pitaka, like this. Some of them, the Buddha still exists there, something like that. But according to the definitions of the Nibbana are mentioned in Tipitaka, mean the one who is getting into the stream of the Nibbana because they are cut off of the connection. They are cut off of the connection between the eye to the objects. When they are practicing getting to know about the connection between the eyes and the object, the consciousness of mind we call Vijnana is taking place. When the Chakku Vijnana is taking place, then the one who practiced about the Eightfold Path and came to know no supporting to create another greedy, another hatred, another ignorance, another delusion, then is the contact is no going on, no more going on. Then the systems of the cuttings of the currents of the births and rebirth are cutting off. Mean we are seeing the objects of one thing or other things. Mean we are created for the new life. We're seeing the thing, then we have imagination, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, and Vijnana, according to the defilement or according to the Kusala Dhamma. That means create a new life. But due to the following the systems of the Eightfold Path, that means to cut off the connection from this life. When we are cut off the connection from this life, and then it will slowly cutting off another next life. Mean no more objects to be born. The objects of our eye, the objects of the objects is not going to have the connection to be born again on another life. That is very wonderful. I think how could you think of that? But this we are knowing all this because we are studying, but we are not enlightened by we call the internal knowledge or the internal sparkling by the getting to know the whole truth. But to getting to know this whole truth means have to start from this we call vipassana. Vipassana could not go alone without the concentration, means samatha. The samatha will be the basement, but the first grounds of the basements is sila. The second basements are the samadhi or samatha, and then lift up the mind to be more brightness, to be more very intellectual wisdom, to cut off the currents of the bonds and reborn, births and rebirths again. This is very excellent, very excellent. I think if the scientific could study up to this and make more research about the systems of the, we call vipassana, it will be, maybe in the future, it will be more scientific to prove for the normal people or for the people who's not born as a Buddhist can be studies about the system of the Eightfold Noble Path or the path of the enlightened with the scientific way.
I believe Western people use this way.
Yes.
Until now, their proof and exactly is about how existing persons come.
Yeah, I think that the computer is doing.
Yes, but about one thing is not like a professor says something like I would say if they have a sila and samatha, it's not easy to practice other than vipassana or insight meditation.
Yeah.
After this we can see this there is one famous school in Thailand. They're trying to say something about how to see something that they can say that they have a job, something like that. But after that is that professional practices only samatha. It's not easy to access vipassana.
Yeah.
So concrete on some idea and business.
Yeah, I think like even Albert Einstein have said that if any teachings of anything, not just only Buddhism, if anything's going to stand for the scientific to prove, there is nothing beyond the teachings of the Buddha. I mean, in the future, the Albert Einstein said that. I think if Albert Einstein changed from what he had been practicing for the, we call the scientific way, that means samatha. Probably the Albert Einstein have practiced again and again, and maybe in the way of samatha. Then he got the skill. But if he got someone could guide him, then if he could change from the way of the scientific to make with the insight meditation, I think Albert Einstein maybe got the way to gain enlightenment. Yeah, I think that's why the Albert Einstein said that if any truth that's going to stand for the proof of the scientific, only the teachings of Buddha. That means he's tried whole life for he himself to prove. But during those days, probably maybe not too much. The one who is being enlightened at another part and being in the local that he could asking for, or even he could not get someone to go and ask, for example, in Thailand, and some monks who, although I still believe that some monks are attained to the stream of the noble, but not easy to find out who they are.
Access this because he was a Jew for you.
Yeah, because he's studying as a Jew, right? He's have background.
It's a background of religious Bible.
Yeah.
He uses science to prove it. That this is also that many people are linked to religion to it.
Yeah, I think another one linked to the socio-linguistic, and even the language geography also, because the backgrounds of this. We have the backgrounds of the historical linguistics into Jew or maybe like we call the Romans language, right? And because a little bit background, if he's studying carefully and then he got someone who could guide him where he's stuck in. Because when you are in the contemplation, the contemplation is make you are very, very intelligent, but it's not noble yet. But that intelligence are like what is the AI right now? What the AI right now? Artificial intelligence. The part of the artificial intelligence, because the part of the artificial intelligence cannot be forever. But due to he got to the contemplation deep in the practicing of scientific again and again, maybe billions of mistakes before he get one. But due to his deeper in contemplation, then he could make a very excellent scientific method. But due to he's not a noble, and this scientific could be one good effect and another one is a bad effect to the society. You know, even in the times of Buddha, if we're studying about one story in Rajagriha, or in Hindi or India they call Rajguru, and one story taken place among his name Bintola Paratavacha, and once the Ganges River have one kinds of tree we call sandalwood. Sandalwood are falling from the Himalaya mountain, and then due to the sandalwood are coming with the river and punching into this, then it's made a good shape like a football, like a ball wood. And then the Rajagriha city they make the net before they go to take a bath in the river. They put the net on because they might afraid that someone might fall into the stream of the river and they will die. But then that wood was blocked by the net, and then he found that he brought to home and then let the architects design into the big bowl, arm bowl. And then he thought that, okay, so many people say that the noble monk is available in this day. Many noble monk. Then he put the ambo into the sky with the bamboos. There are bamboos about 7 steps of the palm trees, very high. Then he have his disciple, his man, servant to make announcing that, okay, if the noble monk exists in this world right now, if any monks go up and took the ambo down, I will faith and I will give I will be disciple of that one. Then most of those days there are many masters. Some masters belong to many groups. Some masters discussing that. I don't know how this story is coming. Maybe because of the told each others afterward or not. But then some of groups say that, okay, I want that ambo. Could you go and say to the millionaire that please give to my master? My master is a noble one, and he don't want to fly to make the people scared because of the ambo. Then the millionaire said, okay, if he want, then he can fly by himself. Then he come to tell his master, and then they say, okay, if I'm going to jump, and then you hold me up, don't let me go, something like that. Then the millionaire watching what's going on, and the master wanted to jump into the sky. Then the disciple hold on, no, Ajahn, no, master, don't do that. Just only for a simple ambo, why did you jump and make the people scared? Then the disciple come to say to the millionaire again, the millionaire, would you give this ambo to my master because he don't want to go and make the people scared? No, we go. Then they move one, two, another master come also the same. But then all 7 days, after 7 days, then some of the drunk, it's wonder that even those days they are drunk. I'm not quite sure, drunk because of the early morning. We should not be drunk very early morning. And then some of the drunk, but in the Tipitaka have mentioned that some of the drunk we call Nakling Sura. Nakling Sura means the drunk man. Maybe they hang before in the night before, and then in the morning they come and take tea, breakfast tea or tea breakfast, and then they talk. Oh no, I don't believe that today is a noble monk, is a noble hermit is available. You know the millionaire have hang that down for 7 days. No any noble jump up and took the ambo. Then that day in the morning, probably maybe not early morning like in Thailand, because in Thailand, monk go ambo very early. Some day, maybe 5:30, monk already left the temple. But when I was in another province, for example, like Saraburi province, 5 a.m. we already went for ambo because the people they start offering ambo very early, even not really dawn of the sun shining yet, but they do in Saraburi province. I was there for 6 years, but some other part be like a 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. But I think in India probably because most of the monks those days they take 1 meal a day, maybe 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock like that, maybe not too early. Then Nakling Sura said that I think no noble monks anymore, but the Venerable Pindola Bharatavacha and Mokkallana, both of them are coming to the city and we'll go for the ambo. Almost 11. And then they talk, I think I didn't believe, but the Venerable Pindola Bharatavacha have listened about that by his supernatural ear, because his ear can listen so far and because he has a lot of supernatural power. Then he told to Mokkallana, Mokkallana is the one who's got a lot of supernatural power, second to the Lord Buddha only. Then he said to Mokkallana that, sir, should you go and take that ambo? And then he said, no. But those days the Buddha not have given the Vinaya yet to stop the supernatural power showing. When Venerable Pindola Bharatavacha said that, sir, then could I go and take the ambo? Yeah. Then that morning he stood up on the big stone. I think the stone they say somehow like very much like a big as a house. Probably the stone very big. Have you been to Rajkot? Big stone in the area, that area, you know. Maybe some big than a house than this building. But he said, he mentioned in Tipitaka that the stone very much like the castle of house in those days. He stood on that, then he got into the contemplation, and from the first to the fifth, and the fifth back to the first one, and then in the middle, he showed the supernatural power. His feet, both feet, touch into the stone almost get into his feet, and the stone flying like a arrow jet, flying even like a F-16 like that. The sound is very much like make a lot of noise. Then the people in the city start to scare because like a big stone flying, but then they take a glance and take carefully look. Some of them take the big arm bowl, some they take pick a basket and cover their head. Somehow they are afraid of the stone might be fell down. And then they see the robe of the monk flying over there too. And then they follow to the where the arm bowl is hanging. Then the venerable take the like an arrow jet for surrounding the city for twice, and then he took the arm bowl and get down. And then the millionaire said, "Wow, great, great!" Then offer the food and everything. Then most of the people in the city, some of them during the flying of the stone, they were in house, and then they came out, and then they follow. So, for a few minutes ago, I couldn't see. Could you show again? Then the venerable show again one more. And then some of them come afterward again back to the temple. The temple then noise very much like have a fair parties in the temple. Then the Lord Buddha asking Ananda that, what happened? What is that noise? Very much like a fishing market. The fishing market? When the people going to the fishing area, the port, the pier, then the people, oh, how much you give? Okay, I give 100. They're shouting from the boat and in the shore, and okay, this 100 baht per a kilogram like this. Then the Buddha says, what is noise like a fishing pier? Then they came to know that. 7 already? What do you been already? Okay, and 11 o'clock already. Should I go on finish for a few minutes more? Or we wait till afternoon? I think better afternoon, okay? The venerable will have to go for lunch. And I will finish this only after a few minutes. And in the afternoon, we'll see again. And thank you very much for joining the class. And let me take more example and show you for probably the last day for our class. Thank you very much. See you in the afternoon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. No patient, right? Because we have to go for lunch first. The Venerable Sirananda have to go for lunch, and after that, we could come and share again.
กายที่เธอมองเห็นว่างามสุดท้ายความเสื่อมทรามจะมาพรากไปร่วงโรยลงในสายทานยามการเวลาหมุนไปชีวิตต้องแตกสลายไม่มีเที่ยงแท้ผมเส้นงามถึงคราวร่วงไปแขนขาที่เคยว่องไวกลับไร้เรี่ยวแรงโรคภัยเฝ้าคอยคุกคามติดตามไปในทุกแห่งเกิดแก่เจ็บตายสำแดงเป็นธรรมดาหากเธอมองทุกการเกิดมาที่